My name's Gerald. I was married for 5 years, and I never imagined it would end the way it did. I met Karen through work. I was handling logistics at a regional supply chain firm, and she joined as a marketing consultant. Sharp, organized, and direct. That's what struck me first. No pretense. She walked in like someone who already knew who she was and didn't need anyone else's validation. When the contract ended, we kept in touch. Casual coffees turned into dinner dates, and soon weekends. It was natural, effortless. 3 years later, we got married. Those first years were solid. We weren't movie scene romantic, but we had a rhythm. I kept us grounded. She kept pushing us toward the future. Not fiery, but stable, and for a while, that was enough. But by the 4th year, small shifts began to show. She started traveling more for consulting assignments. Temporary gigs, she said. Better money in the long term. I didn't protest. We'd always valued our independence, and I respected hers. Then came the password lock on her phone. Whispered conversations in the hallway. A new password on her laptop. I brushed it off. Maybe she just needed space, some privacy. That's normal, right? But things continued to change. And soon, it wasn't just 1 or 2 things. It was dozens of subtle cues. I remember a specific night. She came home late from some strategy dinner, walked past me without a word, dropped her bag, and headed straight to the shower. I asked how the meeting went. Without even turning around, she said, "Fine, just tired." That was all. I didn't know it then, but something had already shifted. From that night forward, things just kept fading. She stopped leaving her phone out on the table, always kept it face down. Not defensive, just distant. If I called during the day, it rang out. Her text turned short. 1-word answers. At first, I chalked it up to work. Consulting can be draining. I figured once the stretch eased up, things would return to how they were. But the stretch didn't ease up. It became our new baseline. One night, I cooked dinner, her favorite pan-seared salmon, lit a candle, just trying to reset, reconnect. I called her. No answer. I texted. Made something for us tonight. Just us. Let me know when you're on your way. Nothing. An hour passed. Then another. When she finally called, her voice was cool, flat, like nothing was off. "I can't make it," she said. "Why not?" "I've got a date." She said it like she was stating a meeting. I paused. "What?" She gave a quick laugh. Too quick. "Not like that. Just drinks with some coworkers. It's a work thing." I didn't argue. Didn't push. I ended the call and sat at the table alone. That one sentence echoed in my mind. We barely even shared a couch anymore. Conversations had turned into logistics. Groceries, calendars, who's picking what up. And the worst part? There was no yelling. No blow-ups. Just silence. It was like living with a courteous stranger. Eventually, I spoke to Michael, an old friend who knew both of us well. We grabbed a drink after work. He gave me that look, the one people give when they know something's not right, but don't know how to say it. He asked if I really believed Karen's workload was all that was going on. He wasn't pointing fingers, just putting voice to what I'd already been thinking. Then he mentioned the phone, how when people guard their devices like that, it usually means they're hiding something. I didn't want to hear it, but he wasn't wrong. I needed truth, not assumptions, not instinct, just proof. So I paid closer attention, not obsessively, just enough to see what was already there. One night, Karen came home late again. Same routine. Bag down, straight to shower. Barely said a word. I noticed her phone was nearly dead. While she was in the bathroom, I grabbed a charger from her bag. As I plugged it in, the screen lit up. "Darren Caldwell. Message. Can't stop thinking about you." I didn't touch anything else. Just watched the screen dim again. She'd mentioned Darren before. Someone on a recent project. I hadn't thought twice. Just another colleague. Until now. The next evening, we were sitting in silence in the living room. She was curled up with her phone on the other side of the couch. "I don't know who you talked to all day," I said, "but it sure isn't me." She didn't look up. "You're being dramatic, Gerald." I let it sit. Are you seeing someone? No reaction at first. Just a pause. The smallest break in motion. Then she slowly set her phone down and looked straight at me. Wow. So now it's accusations. It's a question, I said. You know what? Maybe I am. Her voice was cold, daring. Maybe I've started talking to someone who listens, who doesn't treat me like an appointment reminder. I didn't blink, didn't ask who. I already knew. Darren Caldwell. She had no clue I'd already connected the dots. That made it worse. I stood up, looked at her for a long second. She held her posture, like someone who'd already rewritten the script and cast me as the antagonist. I nodded once. That's it? She asked. Yeah, I said. That's it. She turned back to her screen. I walked to the kitchen, leaned on the counter, stared at the tile. I knew exactly what had just happened. I didn't sleep that night. When she went to bed, I stayed up and logged into our share phone account. We were still on the same plan. I didn't want guesses anymore. I wanted the truth. It started with call logs and messages. Darren Caldwell. Not just once or twice. Nighttime, weekends. Always regular, always there. I stared at the screen for a long time. Not mad, not yet. Just shocked by how perfectly the puzzle fit. The next morning, I brewed coffee like usual. Sat across from her at the kitchen table. I know about Darren, I said. Karen didn't react. She set her mug down slowly. What are you saying? I mean the late-night calls. The constant texts. His name lighting up your screen. Her eyes flicked away briefly, then met mine again. It's not what you think, she said. Then what is it? We talk. He listens. It's not physical. Not exactly. Not exactly? I repeated. She leaned back in her seat. I was dealing with things I didn't think you'd understand. You never gave me the chance, I said. Her voice sharpened. You've been distant too, Gerald. You've been mechanical, task after task, like I'm just one more job to manage. I nodded. So this was your answer? I didn't plan it, she said quietly. But you kept him and me? Karen went silent. I stood up. I'm not yelling. I'm not pleading. But don't mistake my calm for weakness. She looked at me, like she didn't recognize who I'd become. I'll end it, she said. I didn't reply. I just watched her for a moment, then left the room. That night, I slept in the guest room. She didn't knock. I think she finally realized. This time I wasn't bluffing. The days after felt off. Karen never brought up Darren, and I didn't either. She turned sugary, too sugary, made me breakfast, asked about my day, left smiley notes on the fridge. It wasn't care. It was cleanup. One evening, she sat close on the couch, placed her hand on my leg. I didn't respond. I miss what we had, she whispered. I stared at the screen. You missed a version of me who never questioned you. Her hand lingered, then slid away. I stuck to my schedule, early starts, long gym sessions, long drives to clear my thoughts. She noticed. She pretended things were normal, but her energy was a mess. She stopped locking her phone. Maybe she thought I'd given up, or maybe she was just careless. Either way, it told me enough. The next night, I checked again, not out of suspicion, but to verify what I already knew. She hadn't stopped. His name was now DC Marketing, but the messages hadn't changed. Still flirty, still hiding under fake projects. Just more discreet, not more honest. Then I saw it. A reply from Darren the night I confronted her. The night she said, I'll end it. He wrote, Did you shed a few tears to sell it? She responded, No need. He's too naive to doubt it. That's how she saw me. She had looked me dead in the eye and lied. Worse, I kept scrolling. Found another message from a few nights earlier. The night I made her dinner. She joked about being on a date, then laughed it off, said it was work drinks. She hadn't been joking. She'd been with him. I didn't confront her. Didn't ask for another performance. Instead, I started planning. I met a lawyer, found a rental across the city, started taking my things, little by little, clothes, documents, essentials. She didn't notice, or pretended not to. Then, on a quiet Wednesday, I packed the last of it, left the key on the counter, and a note, "You already left." I just finally accepted it. By the time she saw the note, I was halfway to the new apartment, unloading boxes. She called twice. I didn't pick up. Then came the text. "Where are you? Let's talk about this." "Please, Gerald, we can fix this." I left them unread. That night, around 9 p.m., she showed up at the apartment. I hadn't told her the address. She must have found it. She knocked 5 minutes straight, then silence. I watched through the peephole. She looked like she was crying. "Gerald, please, can we talk?" I spoke through the door. "Calm, steady. There's nothing left to discuss. This is my fault, I know. But after everything we've been through, we don't just end like this." "You ended it," I said. "I'm just making it official." She pressed her forehead to the door. "I didn't think you'd actually leave." And there it was. I stood there, on the other side of the door, breathing deeply, for the first time in ages. I felt grounded again. Next morning, 20 unread messages. Sorries, excuses, anger, regret, then the shift. Friends started messaging. Karen told me what happened. She said it was a misunderstanding. "Did you really just leave?" I didn't respond. People believe what suits them. Karen was already rewriting the script. I let her. My silence was my line in the sand. And this time, I wasn't stepping over it. A month later, she texted again. "I've been thinking, if you're willing, I want to fix this." I stared at the message, then replied, "We can meet once." We sat at a coffee shop near my place. She looked drained, not tired, hollow, like someone chasing a lie too long. "I know I ruined things," she said. "Darren, that was meaningless. When I told him you left, he laughed, said, 'Wow, he actually believed you.' He only liked the danger. Once you were gone, he got bored. A week later, he was with someone new." I stayed quiet. "But I never stopped loving you," she said. Still, I said nothing. "I thought we'd get through it, like always." "No," I said. "I always pushed through. You just dodged or twisted things or pinned them on me." She blinked. "I didn't mean to hurt you." "No, you didn't mean to get caught," I said. Karen leaned in. "So that's it? We just throw it all away?" "No," I said. "You threw it away. I'm just done pretending it's still whole." She looked at me, not arguing, just accepting. She inhaled like she wanted to say more, but all that came out was, "I didn't think it would end this way." I nodded. That's exactly why it had to. I paid for my drink and stood up. "Take care of yourself, Karen." She didn't follow, just sat there, watching me leave. That was the last time we spoke. People ask sometimes, do I regret it? Leaving, going silent, not fighting harder. No, because when someone shows you exactly where you stand, and you ignore it, you lose yourself. Leaving wasn't revenge. It was repair. All I ever needed was peace. And now I finally have it.